Internazionale, of course, are champions over in Italy, but of course, who's going to join them in the Champions League? Juventus, currently wobbling. Will they make it? Will they won't? What's going to happen to Ronaldo? We'll take a little look. Next. Back once again with another prediction show. Today we're taking a look at match day number 36 over in Serie A, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, smash the old subscribe button, get your bang up today with all things Serie A related, Blabber Rovers related, world football related. We got it all here under one rooski. That's right, boys and girls. Of course, Juventus are the big old question mark at the moment. Will they make the Champions League? Because of course Ronaldo's future will probably depend on that, because he ain't going to play bloody Europa League football, is he? Anyway, we'll talk more about that of course in a minute. A big shout out to the VIPs. We're talking about the Patreons, boys and girls. Thank you for your continued support. If anybody else is out there that wants to join that band of men and women, check out that link down below, patreon.com/Roverseas. But anyway, let's get cracking. We're into the final 3 games now of the season over in Serie A. So here we go. Quick recap of the games that did take place this past weekend. Of course, kick it all off with Udinese up against Bologna. It was a 1-1 draw in the end. Riccardo Orsolini on scholarship for Bologna. Rodrigo De Paul on the scholarship for Udinese in a 1-1 draw. I actually remember the 1-0 win for Udinese when I was wrong. Spezia got themselves handed to a plate by Napoli, 4-1 win in the end. Goals coming from Victor Osimhen on the score sheet with a couple of goals there as well. Peter Zielinski, Herving Lozano as well, with Roberto Piccoli getting the goal for Spezia, the 4-1 win for Napoli. Actually, I remember the 2-0 win for myself, so not too shabby either. Me, my boys at Inter, or not my boys at Inter, my boys Sampdoria got spanked by Inter 5-1 in the end. Champions looking very, very good. Roberto Gagliardini on the score sheet, Lautaro Martinez, Andrea Pinamotti, Alexis Sanchez with a couple of goals there as well. Kite Balde getting the goal for Sampdoria, of course. Home and host, of course, they're playing like no man's business. Maybe playing for Copa America spots, playing for Europa League spots, or Europa 2020 spots as well. So yeah, turn on the style, 5-1 win. Fiorentina 2-0 win over Lazio. Dusan Vlahovic getting the goals as well for Fiorentina in a big win over Lazio. Of course, Andres Pereira got himself sent off for Lazio in a bit of a shambles there. Genoa up against Sassuolo, 2-1 win for Sassuolo on this one. Of course, over Genoa, Giacomo Raspadori, Domenico Berardi getting the goals for Sassuolo. David Sabacosta as well, giving Genoa a goal. 2-1 win for me going the other way. Meanwhile, Parma against Atalanta, 5-2 win for Atalanta, looking very, very good as well for them. Strong end to the season. Ruslan Mirovski, Matteo Pessina, Luis Muriel, and Alexei Marianchuk getting the goals for Atalanta. Juan Brenta and Simon Shom getting the goals for Parma, but of course they look like they're going down. Benevento against Cagliari. It was, of course, a 3-1 win for Cagliari on this badger. Where were the goals on this one? I'm trying to find it. There they were, of course. On Sunday, they made the 9th. Chamalas Linkingardis on the score sheet with Leonardo Pavlietti and Joao Pedro getting the goals for Cagliari. Gianluca Lapadula on the score sheet for Benevento. Cool name, but unfortunately they lost in the end. Hellas Verona against Torino was a 1-1 draw as well in the end. Goals coming from Mergin Vagova on the score sheet for Torino. Federico Del Mercado getting the goals for Verona in a 1-1 draw. 2-1 for me. Of course, Mourinho was watching 5-0 win for Roma over Crotone, turning on the style, of course, and what's going to happen with them next season. Bode Monreal on the score sheet with a brace. Lorenzo Pellegrini as well with a brace. Henrik Mkhitaryan also on the score sheet as Roma turned on the style. Of course, they're not going to get anywhere near the Europa League spots. Meanwhile, Juventus against AC Milan ended up 3-0 for AC Milan. Goodness gracious me, as of course Milan put a bit of a footprint in the Champions League. Brahim Diaz, Ante Rebic, and Fike Tomori on the score sheet, giving Milan the win, and Juventus are in trouble. Let's take a look at your picks then, shall we? Here we go. Kicking on forward, Ivan Stringer did great. Yannick Seifert also did good. Omer Esquivel, well done to you. Of course, Ultra Omer, fair play as well. Well done indeed. The D-Man also did very, very good. Leonardo Olivetti, not too bad. AJ24, not too bad either. Shane not kicking ass and taking names. Ojo52, not too shabby. Rob C did okay. Tom Steiner, not too bad. And Alex Weller did bits. Yannick Bossa kicked ass with a stanker. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Mr. or M. Famako also did good. Imagine not too bad either. Game Chai not so good. Oh, not too bad either. Debate the Great did great. Vincent also did cool. And JPCFC also did great. Kosuke, he's okay. Hansworth also did good. And Ross Frost, well done to you indeed. And Kemio Tran, not too bad either. What about the table? Well, here we go. Rob C, just close your eyes, man. Close your bloody eyes. As for the rest of the boys and girls, of course, Yannick Bossa kicked ass with a 9-piece. That's 9 out of 10. That's 90%. That's, of course, top echelon stuff. And that actually done some bit of a shake-up in the old leaderboard. Of course, he is kingpin at the moment by 1 point over Amaji Monday. That's right. We have a title race on hand. In fact, you could even look at the likes of Gaming Charlie and Omer Esquivel in 5th place, realistically closing in on this. We have about 30 points on the offering. Maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe a touch more than that. But, of course, realistically, it's probably a top 5 race. But, of course, even Matt Gunner and Hans Wilson for the song, the D-Men, also maybe not the D-man, but the rest have got an outside sniff as well. But anyway, take a look at the next round of matches. Let's waste no more time in just a second. Of course, this is the table right here, right now. Inter Milan lead the charge. They, of course, are champions. Atalanta, AC Milan, Napoli, Juventus, all duke it out for Champions League football. Of course, Lazio would also think they've got an outside sniff with a game in hand. Win that, they go up to 67 points, and maybe, just maybe, they could also get into the conversation. Roma, though, well, they are just competing to finish as high as possible with awaiting Jose Mourinho at the back door. Of course, Crotone, Parma looking like a long shots to save the day. Benevento also in trouble as well. Spezia, Cagliari, Torino, and maybe even Genoa are still in the conversation for relegation, but it's going to be a tall order for any of those bottom three to get out of it. Let's kick it on though with, of course, the next round of matches. Kicking on off with Napoli up against Udinese. Played for the last 6, been 5 wins for Napoli, nothing for Udinese, and 1 draw. Last time around in Napoli, it was a 2-1 win for Napoli with Milic Bratano on the score sheet. Of course, Rodrigo De Paul getting the goal for Udinese. That was a 2-1 win back in July. They also played this season. It was in January. It was a 2-1 win for Napoli as well. Heading into this, though, Napoli winning their last 7 home matches against Udinese in all comps. So they're also undefeated in the last 9 matches as well at home. Heading into this, yes, unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 4 wins and 2 draws. That is Napoli. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 4 games for Udinese. Of course, that 1 win was against Benevento. 4-2 win for Udinese back in, of course, the end of April. I look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? I haven't even got them ready. What am I looking at? Of course, the bookies odds for the Napoli against Udinese is 3-1 on is your Napoli, 4-1 is your draw, 8-1 is your long shot. So that's Udinese. Taking place on, of course, Tuesday, the May the 11th. Of course, Napoli are in 4th win for them. They could go 3rd for at least 24 hours. As for their opposition, Udinese, they're actually in 11th right now. Win for them, they move up to 10th. Napoli will win this one 2-1, take 3 points, and again go to 3rd for at least 24 hours. Cagliari taking on Fiorentina. This will take place on Wednesday, the 12th of May. Played for the last 6, 3 for Cagliari, 1 for Fiorentina, and 2 draws. Last time around in Cagliari was a 5-2 win for Cagliari back in November 2019. Goals coming from Marco Rog on the score sheet, Fabio Piscani, Giovanni Simeone, while Pedro and Radan Nangelin on the score sheet, giving Cagliari the 5 goals. Dusan Vlahovic with a couple of goals there for Fiorentina as well. They also played this season in Fiorentina. It was a 1-0 win for Fiorentina back in Jan. Cagliari, though, conceded at least 2 goals in the last 4 home matches. Also undefeated, though, in the last 5 heading into this. Yes, 5 wins, or 4 wins out of 5. Their own hiccup was a draw against Napoli. Meanwhile, unbeaten in the last 4. That's Fiorentina, also picking up 2 wins and 2 draws. Smells like a draw already. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Cagliari 64 for the victory, 90-10 is your draw, 21-10 is your Fiorentina. Fiorentina are actually in 13th, and win for them, they can move up to 11th. And of course, Cagliari all the way down in 15th right now, still in the relegation conversation, but a win for them, they can move up to 13th. I've gone with Cagliari to get a draw at the very least, 1-1 in the end. Atalanta flying high up against Benevento, who are flying low. Played for the last 6, of course, last 3. It's been 3 wins out of 3 for Atalanta, including a 1-0 win last round at Atalanta back in November 2017. Goal was Brian Cristagna on the score sheet back in the day. They also played this season, of course, 4-1 win for Atalanta back in January this season. Of course, 5 defeats of the past 6 games for Benevento. They look absolutely wobbly. As Atalanta unbeaten the last 6, picking up 4 wins and 2 draws to boot. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Atalanta will be your stone cold favourites on this one. Goals galore. I'm sure 7-1 on is your Atalanta, 14-1 for Benevento. They are in trouble. 7-1 is your draw. Benevento in the relegation zone, but a win for them, they could mathematically get out of it with a bit of a goal swing. As for Atalanta, they are second, and of course, win for them, they can close it in on first. But of course, it's all about remaining second. The goals, the goal advantage for them, or the goal difference, is huge. They are the top goal scorers in the division. I've gone with some more on this one with a 2-0 win in the end. Bologna up against Genoa in the on this one. Played the last 6. It's been 3 wins for Genoa, 1 for Bologna, and 2 draws last round. Of course, in Bologna was a 3-0 win for Genoa back in February 2020. Goals coming from Adam Sammano, Antonio Sampria, and Domenico Cristico getting the goals for Genoa back in the day. Jordi Schutten and Stefan Densueli get himself sent off last round for Bologna back in Feb. They also played this season, of course, in Jan was a 2-0 win for Genoa as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games unbeaten. Genoa up against Bologna. Of course, last time Bologna won was back in 2018. Genoa, though, keep a clean sheet in the last 3 matches against Bologna in all comps. However, Genoa have also lost 5 of the last 6 away matches heading into this. Just 1 win, though, in their last 6. That was against Spezia at home. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 6 for Bologna, also against Spezia as well. Something a bit in common there. Bologna 30-10 for the ratio, 12-5 is your draw, 21-10 is your Genoa. Genoa are actually in 14th right now. Good, strong end to the season. Win for them, they can move up to 13th. As for their opposition, Bologna, they are actually in 12th right now. Win for them, they can move up to 10th. Tough one, this one, gone with 1 for Bologna to get them 3 points. Genoa will hang on in there. Sassuolo up against Juventus, of course, played for the last 6. Another for Sassuolo, 4 for Juventus, and 2 draws. Last time around in Sassuolo was a 3-3 draw back in July 2020. Danilo, Gonzalo, Higuain, and Alexandro on the score sheet with Philip Dukic, Domenico Berardi and Francesco Caputo getting on the goal scoring sheet for Sassuolo in a 6-goal Bobby Dazzler. They also played each other this season in Turin. There's a 3-1 win for Juventus back in Jan. Juventus though scoring at least 2 goals in the last 9 matches against Sassuolo in all comps though. However, Sassuolo winning 5 of the last 6 matches as well heading into this. Juventus though undefeated in 12 in the last 10 matches against Sassuolo in all competitions as well. Juventus though winning 2 times of the past 5 times. However, Sassuolo winning 5 of the past 6. Their only hiccup was a draw against Atalanta in a 1-1 draw. A couple of games back. Meanwhile, the bookies odds on this one we have Sassuolo 4-1 for the victory, 10-3 is your draw. 7-4 on is your Juventus. Juventus currently find themselves in 5th, and a win for them make a move up to 3rd. As for Sassuolo, they're in 8th, and a win for them make a move up to 7th above Roma in the end. 3-2 win goals in this one, plenty of it going in favour of Juventus. Torino will take on AC Milan this coming midweek, of course, over in Torino. Played the last 6 have been 4 wins for AC Milan, 2 wins for Torino, and no draws. Last time around in Serie A was a 2-win for AC Milan back in, last time in Torino. In Serie A was a 2-1 win for Torino back in September 2019. Goals coming from Andrea Bellotti with the brace, Krzysztof Piatek as well, with Pepe Reina himself sent off. They also played this season, of course, 2-0 win for Milan back in Jan. Milan, though, winning 16 last 19 matches on the road in Serie A. They've also scored at least 2 goals in 20 last 23 matches on the road as well. Milan undefeated in 27 last 29 matches against Torino as well, heading into this. Back-to-back wins for Milan. On this one, of course, just one defeat the past 6, though, for Torino, as, of course, they've turned the season around at the right time. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Torino, 14-5 for the victory, 14-5 is your draw, 20-17 on is your AC Milan. Of course, Milan are in 3rd. Win for them, they could go 2nd. As for Torino, they're in 16th right now. Win for them, they can move up to as high as 13th in the end. Milan will win this one, 2-1 win on the road, 3 points in the bag, and again keep the belief of course, Champions League football for next season. Lazio also in the hunt up against Parma, who look toast. Picture of the 6 out of 6, of course, and there's been 6 wins for Lazio as well. Last round in La Liga in Serie A, of course, over in Lazio was a 2-0 win for Lazio back in September 2019. Goals coming from Ciro Immobile and Adam Masumic on score sheet, giving Lazio the win. They also played each other this season in Parma's a 2-0 win as well for Lazio. Lazio winning their last 11 home matches in La Liga, and they also won their last 6 matches against Parma in all comps. Heading into this, just 1 defeat the past, actually 2 defeats the past 6 games for Lazio. They lost to Fiorentina just the other day. They also lost to Napoli in a 5-2 defeat back in the end of April. As for Parma, absolutely home and hosed. They've lost the last 6 quite heavily as well. So Parma actually 12-1 for the victory, 5-1 on is your Lazio, 11-2 is your draw. Of course, Lazio are in 5th. So 6th right now. A win for them, they could move closer to 5th. As for Parma, they are looking absolutely lost at sea. 19th right now. A win for them, give them a bit of belief, but I don't think it's going to happen. Gone with a 2-0 for Lazio on this one, 2-0 win in the end. Internazionale up against Roma, of course. It'll be Mourinho's old boys up against his new boys, but Mourinho will be watching from the stands. And the last 6 out of 6, these two sides have all ended up in draws. Last round in Milan, of course, was a 0-0 draw back in December 2019. He also played this season in Roma. It was a 2-2 draw as well. Internazionale, though, winning the last 14 home matches in the Serie A. They've also drawn, though, the last 6 matches against Roma. We talked about that. Roma can see at least 2 goals in the last 5 matches on the road as well, heading into back-to-back different wins, though, for Roma, beating Manchester United the other day, also beating Crotone 5-0 as well. As for Internazionale, 3 wins on the spin for them, just conceding the 1 goal in those 3 matches. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Internazionale coming to this 20-13 on is your victory. Of course, 3-1 is your draw, 50-4 is your Roma. Roma are actually in 7th. A win for them can close in on 6th. Internazionale top, and they'll be top no matter what. They'll get the win on this one, 3-1 win, even though they're watching. Mourinho will keep it there and, of course, be taking notes. Sampdoria up against Spezia now, of course, played the last 3. 2 wins for Spezia, 1 for Sampdoria, and no draws last round. In Sampdoria, I've got no clue, but they also played this season. It was 2-1 for Spezia back in Jan. Of course, heading into Sampdoria, so Spezia have actually failed to win the last 7 away matches in this. They also scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches against Sampdoria in all competitions. Of course, Sampdoria just 1 win the past 3 games. 1 win was against Roma. Meanwhile, without a win in 5, that's Spezia, of course, on the downward slump. They're just out above the relegation zone at the moment, but of course it will all change a little bit after these midweek matches. Bookies are 29-20 is your Sampdoria, 13-5 is draw, 13-8 is your Spezia. Spezia coming to this in 17th right now. Win for them, they can move up as high as 14th. Of course, Sampdoria in 9th, and win for them, they can close it in on 8th. I've gone with a 2-0 win on this one for Sampdoria to get the 3 points and again move the chains, put Spezia in a bit of trouble. And then wrapping up, it is bottom club Crotone up against Verona. They played for the last 6. It's been 3 wins for Verona, 1 for Crotone, and 2 draws last round. In Crotone, it was a 2-1 win for Verona in Serie B back in September 2018. Goals coming from Liam Henderson on the score sheet with Santiago Colamato as well, with Marco Fentinze on the score sheet for Fiorentina back in the day. They also played this season, of course, 2-1 win for Verona in Verona back in Jan. Crotone, though, losing 8 of the last 9 matches in Serie A. They come into this in a very, very bad form. Just 1 win in 6. 1 win was against Parma. However, Verona also in bad form without a win in at least 6 games. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Crotone 13-5 for the victory, 11-4 draw, 11-10 on Verona. Taking place on of course, Thursday, May the 13th. Look at the bookies odds. Crotone are 20th. Win for them, they could go above Parma. As for Verona, they're down in 10th right now. Win for them, they can move up to 9th. I've gone with a 2-1 win for Verona, 3 points, and again, move the chains and probably relegate Crotone in the process. Be sure to get the videos, your predictions are nice and early. Of course, the games are coming thick and fast. Busy week this week, and again, we got another round of matches on the weekend. So get them in down below. Be sure to give the video some loving as well, and also smash the subscribe if you're new. Check out the links as well in the description. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, as well as Patreon if you want to support the channel in another way. And also check out the link to the Discord up above, so you can get involved with everybody. It's free, 100% free. The old Discord, you can go in there, chat amongst buddies, that sort of stuff, and become part of the new community we're going to build over the summer. Anyway, until then though, I'll see you all soon for the next one. Until then though, I am out.